what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Hello. Give me a second. Alright.
To the tie. Why are we pushing cats? I don't know why we're pushing cats. I guess we'll find out when we get to the game. Hello? I guess Steph isn't here yet. Where is she? It's unclear.
Hello?
Hello?
Alright.
How are you doing, Steph?
I'm discombobulated.
You're discombobulated.
Yep.
How do you recombobulate?
Apparently, I don't know. Saving pushing cats?
How is your week?
I think it was a week. How was your week?
I can only think about the last 5 hours.
Okay, how are those?
Crazy.
Why?
I took ketamine.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was probably the most intense experience I've ever had. I've never seen anything like that before.
Wow.
But before we
What
get
was
into
it
that,
like?
tell me, yeah, before we get into that, how, tell me about yourself. How's
What?
everything going for
No!
you?
Why? Stop! What? What's
see
the
the
story?
screen?
Sure, who cares?
You know why? I mean, okay, so I have major depression. I've had it for like a long time, but like, how do I guess it started back in like, I don't know, a long time, but it flared up like 4 years ago, and it's
Right.
kind of like in the past it would come and then like I'd have it for a few months and then it'd go away for a few months and like that. But 4 years ago it came and then it sort of never went away. So I've been trying lots of different meds, tried transcranial magnetic stimulation, stress therapy, tried some other stuff, and none of it worked. So then they're like, okay, so next on the list is ketamine. So that's why when you're like, why?
Yeah.
I took ketamine.
I didn't really mean why. I meant like tell the story.
Yeah. It's not, I don't think like they don't talk to the insurance, so it's expensive. It was like $2,550. And once they send me the bill, then I can send it to insurance and be like, please pay this. But
Right.
but as of right now, I paid it with my credit card. When I went in there, the nurse, I guess, well, so first of all, like on the phone call, they like I had to fill out a form, and one of the things I put on one of the things they asked on the form, and one of the things I put on the form is that I have motion sickness. Like sometimes I throw up on cars, boats, or planes, that sort of thing. And so on the phone call, the initial intake phone call, the nurse was telling me that the ketamines can worsen that sometimes, so they're going to give me an anti-motion sickness medication before the ketamine as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I can't think of anything else. So I show up to the place, and they give me the motion sickness stuff, and then they stick the needle in my arm, and like, oh yeah, okay. So I have alexithymia also. So meaning, I have trouble knowing like what emotions I'm experiencing sometimes. Like I have a muted sense of anger, happiness, all that stuff. And when I say like, so in some ways it expresses itself in that I don't feel these things. Like, you know, people will often comment they're surprised that I'm very calm in a situation where they might be angry, things like that. So like I just don't feel angry in those situations. But also another way it manifests is maybe I am feeling something, but I don't know that I'm feeling it. And what I mean by that is when I was in high school, I was bullied a lot. And like the adults in my life had to tell me that I was feeling stress. I didn't know that I was feeling stress. I didn't have any emotional experience in that sense, but it, like, we knew I was experiencing stress because I would throw up all the time. And for me, I thought it was like, I'm just sick or something. I'm just throwing up and I don't know why I'm throwing up. But like, you know, when they look at the pattern, you figure out, oh, it's because of stress, and they moved me to a different school, and then I stopped throwing up. That's one example. Another example is I used to be in a band, And before one of the big rock shows that we did, I didn't feel nervous, but I could tell I was nervous because I could observe my hands shaking, right? So like I have to see the physical symptoms in my body and then derive what emotion I must be feeling, because I don't like my mind doesn't directly experience the emotion. So that's some examples of what alexithymia is like for me. Anyway, so she sticks the needles in my arm, and then like I feel like I'm about to throw up. So I tell her, hey, I think I'm nervous because I feel like I'm about to throw up. So she's like, oh, and then she does. She's like, apparently this isn't super uncommon, right? Being nervous before these medical procedures as a nurse, so she knows what to do. So she takes care of it. Like basically, some people react like to need, like they react better to needles if they're reclined, if you're laying back. So she just has me lay back, and she measures my blood pressure, because she says like the brain, I guess, it sees the IV, the needle, as a threat, and then the blood pressure drops or something like that, and that's what makes me feel like I'm about to faint or throw up. But reclining me helps with that or something like that. So then like once and maybe like starting to flow some IV juice or something like that also calms it down. I don't know the detail. Anyway, I feel better after her, like she does whatever she does. So I'm okay there. And then she says, okay, so now she's gonna start the ketamine. They give you what's it called, eye blinds, eye covers. They think, like so it
Like an eye mask?
Eye mask, yeah, that's it. So because it apparently if people on ketamine, their eyes move around a lot, and then if you have motion sickness, that can also make it worse. So they give me eye mask, but they say it's not just because I have motion sickness. Apparently everybody wears eye mask, but it's especially important, I guess, for people with motion sickness. Give me eye mask. They give me headphones and with spa music. They said I could pick my own music if I want to, but make sure it has no lyrics. But in this case, I said, just give me whatever. So they gave me like, new age spa music or whatever. And then she said, okay, so she's going to start the infusion. So she starts it. It wasn't like sudden. Did they put the eye mask on after they put the needle in? Well, they give me the eye mask, and I guess I couldn't put it on whenever I want, but I put it on after the needle. So I saw her put in the needle, and then I got really nervous and about to throw up. And then I got calmed down, and then I put on the eye mask, Luigi. So yeah, it wasn't like an instantaneous thing. It wasn't like at this point, I'm sober, and at this point I'm high. It's like I can't draw a line. It's just like I just see darkness, and then like my thoughts are I'm thinking about different stuff. And there's like the nervousness and the anticipation of like what is it gonna be like when. And the ideas just sort of flow together until there's some point where you realize, or at least I realized, like, okay, I'm definitely high. Because this is not the normal experience of my normal experience of consciousness. So one of the things that's interesting about so overall the whole time, or a lot of the time, I'm a very self-reflective person. I think, like, relative to people, I think I've gotten that comment before. And so a lot of the time I'm thinking about, like, how am I going to describe this on stream? Like, what is the best way to capture this memory so that I can convey what it's like? Because I'm sure people are going to, Stephanie and Chad are going to ask me about it. So I have that sort of thread going on almost constantly through the whole thing. And it's very difficult to describe. It's like, I think if you have like a surreal or abstract dream, like the visuals, like trying to say, like, so it's like that, it's hard to, you see things and I there, there's the that thing about how people sometimes have self-reporting problems also of not knowing exactly what they experience. I feel like I distinctly see these things, these imageries, but it's possible that some of this is reconstruction after the fact. But a lot of like abstract imagery, a lot of like if you watch like like I think a lot of the cartoons when showing people about being high seem accurate, you know, when you like these crazy colors and abstract shapes and lots of like repetitive outlines of things. Like if you have like a, you know, a pink elephant, but then like another outline of it a little like, you know, a millimeter away, and then another and then another and all in different colors, so there's like this rainbow outline type thing, that sort of stuff. But like it's also possible that because I was exposed to that imagery as a child, like that, you know, the causation is in the other direction, right? Like that's what causes me to see that sort of stuff. One thing that was remarkable is how like hyper sharp everything is, and you know, layman hypothesis here, but maybe like I'm directly experiencing it with my visual cortex instead of like interpreting imagery from my eyes. So like it's some of the sharpest images, like the most vivid images I've ever seen.
Wow.
Way you know, everything looks more defined and real than when I look around in real life.
But you're not actually seeing anything because you've got a thing on. So is it just your own thoughts, or does it feel like they're coming from somewhere else?
Yeah, it might be difficult for you, Steph, because you have aphantasia, I believe, right?
I might. I don't know.
Yeah, like there's I cannot tell if my eyes are open or closed. Like I'm experiencing visual stimulation in that sense.
Right.
And so I'm seeing things, and I'm like, Tabitha says I have aphantasia too, I think. Hey, Dragonflare has a Steam Summer Sale. Yes, the Steam Summer Sale just started, although I haven't looked into that, so I don't know what are the great deals that are going on. For anyone who doesn't know, aphantasia is so some people, when they like imagine something, like say, imagine a pink elephant. Some people actually see a pink elephant in their mind. They can visualize it, and some people don't. I don't know. So the people who don't are the people who have aphantasia. I don't have aphantasia, so I don't know what it's like to not, you know, what do you, Steph, see, or what do you experience when you try to imagine a pink elephant?
I just don't. I just think of it verbally.
Okay. Yeah, I can like, it's. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it here, but like, because to me, it's like until I learned about the concept of aphantasia, I thought it was a universal experience, right? So I say, you know,
right.
it's how you just see the pink elephant in your mind. And anyway, so
Like I can kind of visualize an actual elephant.
Okay.
And I understand you said to make it pink, but like I don't even try.
Okay.
Like my brain is just like, you said it was pink. I got that. I got that you want me to do that, but like it doesn't occur to me that you mean it literally.
Okay. Well, I mean, like you've seen the movie Dumbo, so you've seen what a pink elephant looks like, right?
Like I can't even pull up the visual from that.
Okay. Hi, Astria.
Like
Welcome
I can,
in.
you know, like I don't. That's what I mean by like I don't really know what other people are. I don't know how literal other people are about what they're actually seeing.
Yeah.
But for something like that where I can't, like, elephants aren't pink, so I don't even try to make it pink. And if you make me, like, I don't think I'm doing it.
Right.
I might be, but
I'm surprised because you said you can pull up the image of a normal elephant. It sounds like
I can.
And
No,
to me,
I mean I
like,
don't do it spontaneously, but I can.
Yeah, to me it's the same experience. Like, you know, imagine a normal elephant. Okay, done. Imagine a pink elephant. Okay, done. Like, because I've seen what pink elephants look like from Dumbo, so I can, you know, in the same way, it's like, to me, it's exactly the same because it's pulling up a memory of a visual stimulus I had in the past.
Right. I don't have that visual stimulus to pull it up from, so my brain just keeps it sort of flexible. I'm like, do you mean it's light pink? Do you mean it's bubblegum pink? Do you mean it's hot pink? Is it like, does it still have elephant looking skin, or is the skin kind of fluffy like cotton candy also? Like it keeps it all loose because I don't, and just mostly verbal. It's hard to explain because our brains are just so idiosyncratic.
Yeah. Well, I think it is also loose for me. Like it's in the sense that like it's like a hazy, unclear imagery. Like I don't see it as vividly as I see like things in real life. And it's highly influenceable. Like when you start saying like, is it light pink or is it like, as you say these, I can like my imagery shifts to match what you
Oh,
described.
interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing any of that.
Unless, you know, so I like, because I didn't choose to focus on any particular type of pink. But it, like if you instruct me, like, you know, make sure it's bubblegum pink, then I say, okay. And then I pull up that image.
And you just make it bubblegum pink.
Yeah.
Even though you're clearly not drawing on a...
Yeah, I can also like imagine novel imagery. You know, if you describe something I've never seen before, I can try to construct the image in my head. Yeah.
Interesting. Like I think I can, but it's just so not natural to me that I just don't unless I needed it for some reason, like to remember, like, you know, like maybe I'm navigating to a new place, and you said it's by the elephant statue and not the cow statue.
Yeah.
And I need to like visualize that in my brain. I might do it under that circumstance. But so you're having all these visions, and are they
They're
like
extremely vivid and sharp.
Are they like, where do they come from, do you think?
Like
are they everyday life stuff? Are they fantastical
they're
stuff?
completely,
are they scary?
They're completely abstract imagery, like Mandelbrot set types shit, you know, like.
Oh, okay. So not realistic images
well, I've
at
seen
all.
things like hyper sharp imagery of like a frog, but he's like way too small because the grass is like taller than he is, and then there's like a little village, a frog village, like, you know, where you might have in a fantasy setting, you might have treetop village where the houses are built off the tree, but they're built off the blades of the grass, and you know, things like that.
Yeah, you're seeing things like that. Like nothing is cueing them; they're just happening for you.
Yeah, well, I think some of it is affected by my thought racing also around.
You've never thought about frogs in your entire life.
Yeah, like not in that sense, but in the sense of also like there's some emotional plot development going on, like that's.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about this part.
Hang on, let me catch up with chat a bit first, though. Solutions, what about, like, remembering something you've seen before, like the view right after you open the door to your house? My memory of that is poor, so if I try to visualize it, it's probably going to be a made-up imagery. Like, I can visualize something, but I don't expect that it's going to be what I actually saw, like, back when I was a kid and opened up the house there.
Man, I have a very limited memory of that. What's weird, though, is the one thing that I do remember, and I do visualize it, is where words are on a page.
Okay.
I used to describe myself as having, like, photographic memory because I remember where something was on the page when I read it.
Yeah.
But then I realized people meant for, like, visual stuff.
Well...
Like,
so, I mean, so maybe there's different types of photographic memory, right? Eidetic memory or something like that. I forget what the term is. Nigel Richard says that he's like you, Steph. And, like he so for people who don't know, he's like a super Scrabble savant. He's like way above. He's first place in the Scrabble tournaments, and second place is like way below him. And they're like second, third, and fourth, and all that, all plus.
Languages he doesn't speak.
Yeah, he can win tournaments in Scrabble for language he does, because what he does is he reads the dictionary and just memorizes the dictionary.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't matter if it's an English dictionary or a French dictionary, he just reads the dictionary, memorizes it, and then he can play those Scrabble words.
Yeah.
And so what he says is he describes he knows where the words are, like he knows what page the words are on and where they are on the page.
Yeah.
Like, so.
And my memory works like that, nowhere near as good, but weirdly, only for like I can't do it with Russian. Russian to me looks like is too visual, and I, you know, or like kanji and other logographic characters. So it's still a verbal process for me somehow.
Well, I think that makes sense. That there's like there's a whole there's like you can have what is it called, a brain injury or deficit or something like that, where you can draw something unless it's a
Right.
word or something like that, and then you can't draw it. You know,
Right.
like so. There's
Yeah.
there's something about recognizing like
Exactly. You can truly lose the ability to just know the meaning of words related to tools,
yeah.
like just tool use. Yeah, the brain is weird, man. Yeah,
And what we
it's
mean
true.
by that, like the experiment is interesting. It's something like if you give them like a text upside down and you say draw this, they can do it. And you say give them the same text, written straight, the normal way, they can't because they can't see the word
Right.
anymore.
Right.
So it sounds like Steph has like the reverse of that, where she can memorize
Yeah.
something like very well if it's a word, but not so well if it's not a word.
If it's not a word, exactly.
But like, no, not just when I say it's not that she's just memorizing the word, because she can memorize the position of the word on the page, right? So there's some sort of visual component there, like nonverbal
Yeah,
component.
I have good nonverbal memory for verbal
of
information.
yeah.
But you're right to make a connection to that. I've never actually done that for myself because it doesn't bother me or even I just assume that that's how other people work too. But the conversation that is being had in social media and other places is bringing a lot of these idiosyncrasies of different people's brains to light. And then I'm sort of like, oh yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so you're having an emotional experience.
Wait,
What's happening?
We still got more chat stuff to catch up with. Hey, Quirky Quacker, and hi, Turtle Shell. Welcome in. Let me see. I can imagine smooth pink elephant, but pink's is dragon flare. I don't think that's the case. It's more trying to visualize creativity. Pink portent from who? Scrubber 2, welcome in. I think I forgot to. I saw you earlier, but I think I forgot to say hello to you. Is it one of those people who know foreign words without knowing the language? Yes, exactly, Scrubber 2. So this is the Nigel. He memorized the French dictionary and then entered the French Scrabble tournament and then won the tournament. Which
But he doesn't speak French.
Yeah, he doesn't know what any of the words mean. He can just like look them up in his memorized dictionary, like mentally, right? And say, oh yeah, that's a word, and then he can spell it. He can put the tiles down. And so the crazy thing about that is that the people he's competing against know he doesn't speak French, right? So one of the things you can do in Scrabble, one of the strategies is you can put down fake words, and as long as your opponent doesn't challenge it, then you still get the points for it. So like he can put, so his opponents would be like, well, this guy doesn't know French, right? So I can just put down any fucking thing I want. And what's he gonna do? He doesn't know if it's a French word or not.
Mary.
Yeah, but Nigel's like, no, that's not in the dictionary. Like I memorized the dictionary, and the word you just wrote isn't in it, so I'm calling your BS. And so Scrabble, if you put a fake word, if the opponent doesn't call it out, you get the points. If the opponent does call it out, you have to remove the tiles and you lose your turn. So that is a legit strat you can do in Scrabble sometimes. The other thing, is to give you ideas of how impressive Nigel is there's an official dictionary they use for Scrabble tournaments, and it's a different dictionary. There's an American Scrabble tournament where they use one dictionary, and an international tournament where they use a different dictionary. And Nigel competes in both. And there was some play where, like in the finals, right, with pros, where a pro put down a word, and then Nigel said it was nope, that I'm calling bullshit, that's fake. And like everyone's like, no, that's a word. But when you look it up in the official dictionary, it's a word in the international Scrabble dictionary, but not in the American Scrabble dictionary. And it was an American tournament, so Scrabble, according to the rules, Nigel, is right, and the opponent has to lose his turn. So it's not just like he's like, oh, I know English. It's literally the dictionary. Right. He memorizes, he memorizes the American dictionary for American tournaments. He memorizes the international dictionary for international tournaments. He memorizes the French dictionary for French tournaments.
Right. Like most of the rest of us who play Scrabble use our language
knowledge
skills.
Of English, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, nope, I'm competing on a different level.
See, Astra says the whole dictionary. Yeah, he apparently memorized the whole dictionary, so he knows words that are in it. He can know when the word isn't it. So that's another to
he doesn't really know the words though necessarily.
He might not know what they mean. He just knows that they're there. Yeah, like there's a test where you say a psychology test where you give someone a bunch of words like Santa Claus, snowman, winter, reindeer, or whatever. and then you tell them memorize these words, and then after you say, okay, so I'm going to give you words, and you tell me if it was on the list or not. So was Santa Claus on the list? And then the person says yes. Was pumpkin on the list? They say no. And then was Christmas on the list? And they say yes. And the thing is, Christmas wasn't on the list. You gave them a bunch of Christmas related words, but you didn't actually give them Christmas as a word. But people will pay attention to the meanings of the words, and so they feel like, oh yeah, Christmas was probably on that list.
They may even self-generate Christmas.
Yeah. So that's what normal people do, and that's why that's why what Nigel did is impressive, right? Because in the sense of when he's memorizing the dictionary, he's not saying I'm just going to memorize. I just use my knowledge of English to say when I know all these words are English words and therefore they're probably in the dictionary. No, he knows exactly which words are in the dictionary and which words are not in the dictionary, even though he might know the word from using it in English. He knows that it's not in the American Scrabble English dictionary.
His brain is treating them more like the way the brain usually treats objects.
Groovy says, wait, are we pushing cats?
Objects.
We might. I don't know. We might end up the whole stream just talking about ketamine and Scrabble. Apparently, we might never actually get to pushing cats, but the game is
You never know with us.
about pushing cats, yes. Scrolling down. Tertius, hey, what's happening? We're starting with just chatting. The agenda is to eventually play the game, but we might not get to it. So we'll see. Corey says, hi, Nebu, how are you? I'm doing okay. I had a very surreal experience earlier today where I tried ketamine for the first time to treat depression. And so we're probably going to be talking about that.
Telling us about it.
Yeah.
We're trying to hear more about it. And he's like, no, I got to catch up with chat.
The best I can do is second blah. If you don't call out someone for not saying Uno, you can't call them out later on. Yeah, so I think the exact rule is, let's say me and Steph are playing and Steph puts in a fake word, right? I can call her out and say, no, I think that's a fake word. Or as soon as I put down a tile, I say, okay, now it's my turn. I'm gonna spell my own word. As soon as I put down one tile, I've lost my chance to call out Steph's word. If I realize later, it's like, oh wait, that's not actually a real word. If I put down the tile, it's too late. I've accepted her word, and then I just have to finish my turn.
But it's risky because it's not like you could just, test every word.
Yeah, if I call it out and it turns out there is a word, then I lose my turn. And Steph, so whoever the other person gets the bonus turn, basically.
Free turn.
True Rochelle says, Pookie, why are we talking about Scrabble? Oh, why were we talking about Scrabble? I was
You said I might be aphantasic, which I might be, and we were exploring the way different people's minds work, and I was explaining I have a good visual memory for verbal information.
Yes.
But a poor visual memory for visual information.
Scarlet says it's the gateway drug to ketamine. Scrabble is the gateway. Yeah, that must be why.
Yes. That's why.
Astro says, congratulations on trying to trade me. Thank you. Okay, so back to ketamine. I was getting these super vivid visual images of crazy things. Some of them are I can describe in the terms of, I was saying it's a fantasy treetop village, but everything's tiny. So instead of the huts being built on trees, they're built off of blades of grass, and it's little froggies that are living there. But and then again, I talked about that rainbow outline thing. There's the grass, but I don't really see the sky because I see the rainbow outline of the grass being repeated, right?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying well, so let me look up any Beatles album, I guess. Cover. Surely, I don't know, a lot of them are normal imagery. Yellow Submarine, maybe? No, not. Oh, maybe this one. So you see this image here. But it's not really an outline thing, it's just psychedelic, I guess. But I thought, okay, in my mind, it was a lot more common imagery. Here, this mountaintop kind of, right, where you have a mountain and then you have the rainbow outline around it. But for me, it continues off into infinity. So some of it is like that, a little bit more concrete, like the frog stuff, right? But some of it is very abstract, just shapes.
At this point, is it like a dream where you don't feel like you're in charge of it, you're just experiencing it? Or does it feel like thinking where you feel like you're in charge of it?
It's a bit of both. It goes back and forth. So I also have very lucid dreams when I dream. Like usually, often when I dream, I can tell I'm dreaming, and then I can influence the story of the dream.
Okay.
I'll be like, I'm in the middle of dream. I might be interacting with someone in my dream, and I'll be like, well, I'm a dream, so I can do whatever I want. So I can just push, I force things to go the way I want. I force them to behave this way because I think it'll make for a more interesting story or whatever.
Okay.
Turtle Show says, did you know most people can't map a room or face they aren't looking at in 3D? What do you mean by that? I don't understand, actually. Pookie, are you sounding a lot more energetic than usual, excitable? Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, your voice is completely different.
Is it?
There's so much more, prosody to it.
Okay. I've been excited in the past, I feel like, right? Like, we remember when I was talking about, like, how AIs can have optical illusions or things like that, that you were also commenting how I was very excited about that, for example.
Yeah, but your voice sounds literally different. Like, it's not like, oh, you just sound excited, but your usual self. Like, your voice literally sounds different. I mean, it would have been interesting to ask me before I knew, like if I'm just having like the placebo effect, but for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the amount of variation, tonal variation in it seems much higher than usual.
Okay. A bus full of buns, welcome in. Hiroshi says high five for lucid dreamers. So you're a lucid dreamer too? Nothing wrong with that, says Steph and I are just sound more awake and excitable. You just sound more awake and excitable, I guess, yeah. Luigi says, oh, that wasn't just me imagining it then. Steph and I says, who are you? Bring back Nabu.
You can be whoever you want to be. It's just fascinating.
Hiroshi says, you still sound like you, just more animated and happy. Corey says, I didn't know this until now. Sorry for the unobserved. Oh, wait, no, to Luigi not being here. I thought I interpreted it about me being more excited. Yeah, Corey Quacker. But... Hey, Bus says, you sound the same last night on stream. Okay, so the Bus says, it sound as usual.
You sound the same.
Where was I?
You're lucid dreaming.
Yeah, some of so in my ketamine state, like there's a lot I'm seeing all these crazy things and I'm like, okay, so I'm high, so in that sense it's like similar because I'm aware of a self and that like what I'm seeing is in some sense fake, right? Like because I know that I'm
like it doesn't feel psychotic, like you're not like, oh, this is actually happening to me.
I would like it would I get the way I would feel emotionally is different if I like saw treetop grass village in real life versus seeing it while on ketamine. So my thought, there's movement like watching a movie or an anime or something like that, right? Like the maybe the camera's panning across the grass, for example, but like sometimes when like a video call goes bad and like it blurs into itself or loops and so that sort of stuff happens too.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And sometimes when it loops like that, like I can sort of see the whole animation at the same time. Like so it's like seeing four-dimensionally, like like there's some sense where I can see every moment in time at the same time of that animation loop.
Okay.
Which is unusual. Like I've never had that happen in my dreams or in real life. And then like that becomes, because like I'm seeing all moments in time at the same time, there's no animation of that, right? That's like a static, like all moments are frozen and simultaneously existing. And then I can go one meta layer higher and then see like that becoming a component of another image, which is progressing through time.
Okay.
And this can happen at several levels, like, and it just keeps happening over and over again. Like, and so it feels like I'm just climbing like higher and higher levels of meta. And,
okay.
Yeah, let's see. Turtle says, I'm a lucid dreamer, yes, except for when I'm lost in a nightmare, then it sucks. I haven't had a nightmare in years. I feel like maybe ever since I started lucid dreaming, because like, I can usually tell when I'm dreaming, and so like it doesn't get to the point where it becomes a nightmare. But like anytime it's going somewhere I don't want it to go, I can just change it, because I feel like I'm in control of the dream.
Fascinating.
Says, yeah,
I can't. Yeah.
if you think about a room right now in your house that you can't see with your eyes, do you imagine the room in your mind in 2D or 3D? Okay. I feel like it's 3D. I'm imagining my kitchen right now, and I can see, you know, the fridge, the stovetop, the sink, the cabinets. And I see it as if like it's like recalling a memory. Like I'm seeing it as what I would see if I were standing there. You know, I can look like in my imagination, I'm turning my head so I can see, you know, the fridge on my right, and then I turn my head to the left and I see the sink there. So to me, it feels like it's 3D.
Probably can't imagine it in 2D.
I could, like, what I can do is like, you know, when I think of floor plans,
Yeah.
that's what I assume she means. So I like, if you're instructing me like, now imagine 2D, I was like, okay. So I visualize the floor plan. I see, you know, the
Yeah.
here's where I
And
would
I'm
draw the
saying I
fridge.
cannot.
Here's where I would draw the sink, you know, and then so I see the black and white, you know, the lines that would make that.
Wow, I can't see it like that. Like I could actually draw it. You know, like if you gave me a piece of paper, like I could work it out, but I can't just see it in my mind's eye in
Okay.
2 dimensions.
The stress says, oh no, you broke the fourth wall. Yeah, and it feels like the fifth wall, the sixth wall, like it just kept going higher. Like, cause each
Like
time
all the
is
walls.
like image, like I then completely enveloped, you know, the reality of all of it, and then it becomes like a pixel of another image that I'm building on top of that, you know.
Is any of this scary? Is it
There was it does get
interesting?
scary later on, like so it's a 40-minute session.
Okay.
I don't like have a timer running in my head, right? So I couldn't tell where
Sure.
I was in that, but there were like at the beginning it was just interesting, but it did get scary later on.
Okay. Are you talking to the facilitator at all? Are they
No, she's silent. She's sitting in the room with me to monitor. I don't know if people like sometimes go crazy or something like that, and that's why they have people monitor. I mean, surely there's a reason, because it's expensive, right, to have a nurse sit there
Right.
with you the whole time.
so there's no discussion of your mood or your goals or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
the experience itself is
that's what I've been told.
okay.
So like we'll get into that a little bit more, but like I don't know what my body is doing. Like I just see all these things. And like
Right.
when she woke me up, like I asked her like, was I talking? And she said I mumbled a little bit at the end, but she couldn't tell what I was saying.
Interesting.
And so the meaning like I wasn't sure if I was talking, right? Like I had to
Right.
check. And
Okay.
Tertia says also, Pookie, I think you're just high. Yeah, I was high. I mean, literally, ketamine is a psychedelic, right? So
Yeah.
for medical purposes, they made me high. David says, how do I gain this power of lucid dreaming? My understanding is it's a practice thing. Like, I don't know how to get the initial little thing, but apparently, like, you somehow, like, learn to notice when you're dreaming. Like, that's the first step. Once you do that, apparently, then you can focus on, like, okay, like, like try to do a specific thing, like let me try to like flex my fingers or something like that, next time whenever I notice I'm dreaming, next time or take a book and like open it up and try to read it. And most people, I think the common thing is you won't be able to read. Like when you open the book, you'll just see like blurry lines or something like that, and that you can also use that as a hint of like to confirm, like, yep, confirm I'm dreaming, because there's these weird books with blurry lines here, things like that. So that's the way to practice, is my understanding.
I have the most boring, most old person form of lucid dreaming ever,
Okay.
which is that in my dreams, I will sometimes notice that the dream requires me to do some arithmetic,
Okay.
like multiplication or subtraction of multiple numbers.
Yep.
For some reason, it's important for the dream.
Yeah.
And at that point, I can be like, this is my body waking me up because I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Which is like the worst form. Like, I can't even imagine like a lamer version of lucid dreaming, but it's super reliable.
When I was a kid, like very young, sometimes I would pee in bed, right? And what happens for that is like I would dream that I'm about to go pee, and then I would pee like in real life.
Right. I think that's common. Yeah.
And so that's like
It's like a lame version of that,
yeah,
where
no,
I don't
well, I mean,
actually.
mine is more lame. I feel like because mine is you actually end up peeing in your bed.
Right. No, I just am like, oh, my brain's making me do math. Yep. Okay, I guess I'll get up.
Yeah, for me it's like I'll be like, okay, I'm standing in my bathroom, toilet seat lid is up. Here we go.
Yeah.
And then like, wow, my legs are getting really warm. Like, and then I wake up and I'll be like, oh fuck, like.
Yeah. But mine like really does come with the awareness that I am dreaming, and that this, is a dream, and it's the dream's attempt to wake me up. So there is a lucid dreaming quality to it. It's just real lame.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like this might have been part of my learning of how to lucid dream, because like,
oh, interesting.
There's a part where like I'm like, so I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like it's really hazy in here, so this is probably not my real bathroom. So I should probably not pee. Like even though I feel like I need to pee, I'm gonna hold it in. Like something's wrong here, and then
right.
And so maybe that, but like I don't know how helpful that is for someone who wants to learn how to lucid dream. I don't know if this is a good
just
strategy.
Notice the weird things your body is already doing, probably.
Yeah.
The lame versions of lucid dreaming that you're experiencing, and build on those.
Rochelle says for lucid dreaming, you could put a tea bag of fresh hops under your pillow. It allows for lucid dreaming, but also it's high in estrogen, so if you're male, use sparingly.
Hops?
Tea bag of fresh hops is what she says. Yeah.
HOPS? Like,
yeah, yes.
What's in beer?
That's what she wrote.
Okay. Well, we were talking about like mystical frogs and stuff, so I'm just making sure.
Okay. Yes. Corky Garter says, okay, I'm going to head to sleep because I've got an early morning. Have a great time with the ketamine discussion. All right, Corky, thanks for stopping by. See you later.
Try to lucid dream.
Tersha says, Pookie is correct. Practice. You can also use specific token to use something physical and take it to bed and try imagining it in the dream with you. Caesar says, have you been noticing themes in your dreams? Do you even remember them? I haven't remembered most of my dreams recently, but I do, like I have remembered dreams in the past. And that's how I know that I can lucid dream and control my dreams. I'll be honest, like when I can lucid dream, like or the ones I remember anyway, when I'm like, okay, this is a dream, I can do whatever I want, it often turns sexual. Like I'm going to be like, okay, time to have sex with a bunch of people,
Sure.
Better
than mine, where I'm like, oh, I'm doing some math.
Timmy says, I can't even remember my dreams. Teresa says, I also dream about using a bathroom when I need to wake and pee. Do you ever recall a piece of your dream when you first wake up? Keeping a dream journal could help. Yeah, so another common thing is like when you first wake up, you remember your dream, but then it fades as the day goes on.
Yeah.
So that's a very common experience, I think. Theo says, recently I've had teams where my car brakes don't work, and now when that happens, I just speed through and crash into things and I'm always fine. I think that's common. Like, I think dreams are affected by like what's going on in your life sometimes. So, if there's, I think it's been debunked a little bit, but one of the beliefs I have or had, I'm holding it loosely because apparently it's been debunked, is that dreams are a way for your brain to rehearse scenarios that you're worried about. So like if you're in your conscious life, you're worried like, oh, what if my car breaks or fell? Then you might have dreams about this. So your brain can be like, okay, so if this happens, here's what I'm going to do. Like it's running simulations so that you know what to do.
It doesn't seem to be. It seems to be
what I mean by
rehearsing what happened to you during the day. So like mostly what seems to be happening is your dreams reenact, like the cells in your hippocampus fire in the exact opposite sequence that they fired during the day. So like your hippocampus, fires as you're walking around because it is sort of the spatial memory part of your brain. And then it seems to work backwards. All those same neurons fire, but in basically kind of reverse order when you're dreaming. So it's like you're rehearsing your spatial map, and your brain kind of is making sense of the rest of the discharge, however well it does, probably based on other stuff that happened to you that day or things you encounter. It can use things you're thinking about, as kind of like trying to figure out what to do with the rest of that neural discharge, but it doesn't preferentially do that,
Okay.
as far as we can tell.
David says, I can't remember my dream last night. Is that a bad thing? I mean,
No.
I can't remember my dream last night either. But like, I might be a little bit weird in that way because I have weird memory. Maybe I can't remember what I ate yesterday. Actually, in this case, I can, but generally, I can't. Most days, I cannot remember what I ate the previous day, and it sounds like neurotypical people can, maybe.
Not really.
Okay.
When they can, it's often because it was a special occasion, or they eat the same thing all the time, and they're just sort of recreating.
Right.
It's surprising how poor people's memory is for routine events.
Yeah. So this, I want to get back to this like in a minute, but like, so people are often surprised, I guess, about when I tell them that I can't remember what I ate yesterday. So they act like they can, implying that they think they can remember. But like, I think this is a common thing for me, which like whenever, like I feel a little bit arrogant sometimes because I feel like a lot of what I experience, like when people say I'm weird because I'm autistic or alexithymic or whatever, I'm just experiencing what you're experiencing, but I know that
you notice it, yeah.
Right? Like
exactly.
I say, you think you remember, but you don't. I don't remember, but I realize that I'm not remembering, and so that's why I say I don't remember, and then and people are like, oh, it's weird, you have bad memory. And it's like, no, I'm just.
But that's actually what's weird about your brain, is that you don't use the social information
Yeah.
to conform and say the same thing all the rest of us say.
Well, I think they actually believe it. I don't think they're saying like, oh, yeah, I
Right,
remember because
but-
they want to like be cool or show off that they're.
Not
I think
necessarily.
They really do think
It's
they
just
remember it.
their experience is shaped by social expectation in ways that they don't even realize.
Yeah. Taurus says, another thing you could try is after waking from a dream, immediately lay back down and try to continue the dream in partial sleep. Yes, that is true. I've done
Yeah,
that sort of
I
thing
can
too.
do that. But then I can't even tell if I'm like actually dreaming or daydreaming.
Cito says, yeah, when I was 17 or so, when I lucid dream, it gets sexual real fast. Yeah, I mean, like it's one of your opportunities, like when you lucid dream, to just try novel things, right? Like if you like have sex with a person you normally would not be able to have sex with, fly, rob a bank, all those things. Like,
But I do all those things in my everyday life.
which is why your dreams are about arithmetic.
Yeah. Stuff that I don't do in everyday life. I get it now. All right.
This is
My only chance to do arithmetic.
Me too, since I was a kid, not fun. Teresa says, really, I can't remember what I walked into a room for, but I can remember my daily things. I mean, it's possible that maybe you really can, but also possibly maybe you can't, but you feel like you can. Like you're constructing the memory using logical information. Like, so for example, if someone asks, what did you eat yesterday? I say, I don't remember, but probably it was this or that because this is usually what I eat, that sort of thing. Like I can try to figure out what I ate, even if I don't remember. And for like neurotypical people, they'll do that step, but like subconsciously, and then they'll create a memory. They'll say, oh yeah, I remember I ate this, when actually, and maybe they'll be correct because their deduction was correct, but they didn't actually remember it. They just reconstructed it from logical facts or something like that, rather than retrieving it from memory.
Right. And it's going to depend on a lot of different features. Like if something was different about what you ate, like you're, on a diet, you really watch your macros, you are eating with other people and you can remember that, you eat the same thing all the time. Right. But just for sort of everyday things, like if there's nothing special about how you eat, you're probably reconstructing it. And you're definitely forgetting some of it.
Yeah.
The food diaries are really clear about that unless you're actually paying attention to your diet for some reason, because you're on one, for example, you are definitely forgetting a lot of what you eat. It's also, somebody mentioned, you said the doorway phenomenon, when you walk into a new room, many people find, like you go into another room to find your glasses or whatever, walking into a new room often sort of resets your working memory and you forget what you were holding in your working memory. And so that what's called the threshold phenomenon, where you just completely forgot why you walked into the kitchen and you have no idea why. It literally just fell out of your working memory, is super, super common.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what. Gosh darn it.
Right. Yes. That's another way that working memory can be emptied, is if Stephanie Ann goes on for too long.
Oh, right. Okay. So earlier I said, like, I don't remember what I ate yesterday, but then I said, oh, but today I can. And the reason that today I can is because something, special happened, basically, right? It's
Right.
distinct. Basically, what happened was, like, yesterday, someone asked me what did I eat that day, and so I remember that conversation, which then lets me
Right.
remember. Therefore, here's what I ate yesterday.
But most people have the experience of being like, wait, did I have that yesterday or today? Even if they do feel like they remember. Was that, oh, when did we last have pizza, right? And what's definitely true about people is you may be able to remember yesterday, but if I ask you what you ate last Tuesday, unless there was something special about that day, you will be wildly inaccurate.
This circumstances disallow me to be choosy on food, so I just ate anything as long as it's edible, which also a reason why I can't remember what I ate. Yeah, it's
Fair.
like humans have limited memory, right? So I think, like, it makes sense to not remember things that aren't that important. Like, lots of things
Right.
happen to you in a day, and then most of it is not important, so you don't remember it. Like, it's an
Right.
efficiency
And
thing.
it would also need to be evolutionarily important, right? Otherwise, we just don't really have a lot of memory for it. And we have a built-in mechanism for did I eat, which is called hunger, but what I ate is not particularly important unless it makes you sick. And luckily, humans have a really fast it made me sick response. We suffer food poisoning symptoms before the poison even necessarily enters our whole system. But other than that, you don't really need to remember what you ate. So the brain's like, why bother?
Dorshas, now I generally remember. I can remember the way it smelled, looked, and tasted. Okay. Luigio says redeem stretch. So I'll do a quick stretch here. CTL says, recently I've been dreaming about eating a restaurant with fantastic looking food and then never having any of it. Subconscious found a new way to frustrate me at night. Yeah, I have dreams about food too sometimes. Like, usually, like, it's because I'm hungry. Like, I
Right.
skipped a meal yesterday or something like that. And then as I'm sleeping, I'll dream eating food. And, like, again, because it's lucid, I know it's a dream. So I don't. So I don't know for different people what experiences they have, but, like, I can see. I don't think I can hear in dreams. I think it's like when people talk to me, it's like purely semantic, intellectual. Like, I'm not actually experiencing, like, the auditory system triggering, but, like, I know what they're saying because of the semantic information that's being transferred. I definitely don't taste. So, like, I'm just, I eat the food and I know it's a dream, and it's like, it's sort of like a resigned whatever, like, another lucid dream. I wasn't expecting to be able to taste it. Might have been cool if I could taste it, but that's how it is.
Wow, I don't think I've ever eaten in a dream.
Timothy says, fun fact, I drank a whole liter of spoiled milk once because I don't want it to go to waste. Not fun. I mean, in some sense, if you drink the spoiled milk,
it already has gone to waste.
That is wasting it. Yeah, like you're making if you think of, like, a scoring system in a game, right? Like, drinking, like, good milk is like 200 points or something like that. Throwing away spoiled milk is like 0 points, and then drinking this milk is like negative 200 points. Like, you're making it worse by
you're losing. Yeah. I guess you're making cheese out of spilt milk.
Okay, so where was I in the ketamine? Because we're cut off in chat.
You are having these experiences, and you said there's an emotional content to them, but
Yeah, so
it's not. Yeah.
I'm thinking about stuff. I'm seeing all these imageries, and so sometimes I'm thinking like, oh, so I'm high, and that might, like, having that thought might affect, like, you know, the next scene that I see, how this scene evolves into the next. Sometimes I'll like, I talked about how, like, it looks like a camera panning with the grass. And I'll try to sometimes control the panning, but sometimes I just don't, like, it's not that I can't, is that I don't think to do it, or I don't feel like that's, you know, what I want to do right now. So it just goes wherever it wants.
Okay.
There's parts where I'm like, I because I keep thinking about, like, okay, how am I going to explain this on stream? I'm also checking in with myself in the sense that I'm like, okay, like, you know, I'm still on this reclining chair thing, right? With my arms on, my left arm's on the armrest, my right arm is on my chest. I'm laid back. I'm going through the proprioception thing. Proprioception is you can tell where your body parts are. Like, even if you close your eyes, you know that your hands are in this position, your legs are in this position. You can tell if you're laying on your back or you're standing up, even if your eyes are closed, things like that. So I'm checking those senses. I'm like, yeah, I'm still laying back. But at some point I lose that. Like, I'm doing the check, and it's like, I don't know where my arms and legs are. Like, I know intellectually they're you know, I probably didn't move, so probably my arm is on my chest still. My right arm is on my chest. My left arm is to my side on the arm, but I can't feel it. Like, I can't confirm it via sensory input anymore.
Interesting. Is any of it, like, is it ever boring?
It was never boring for me. There was constantly novel experience, like visual stimuli, and thoughts coming into me.
And then, do you have a sense of time passing?
Yes, I know time is, like, because I can see the animation, so I know, you know, I'm experiencing time, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And then it feels like I'm experiencing meta time, in the sense of, like, you know, because then the first scene, like, all time is frozen, and then I'm seeing animations on top of that. But it doesn't feel different from experiencing normal time. It's not like it feels more like the world is wrong. Like, you know, the world froze, but I'm still going through time.
Okay.
Rather than me experiencing a new form of time.
You know, like how when you have a dream, like, lots and lots of time, sometimes, you know, hours, days, whatever, pass in your dream, but in real life, there's no way the dream went more than like 20 minutes?
Yes.
How's that type of sense of time? Like, are you thinking, wow, this 45 minutes is a long time? Or
I did feel that, but it didn't get to the point where I felt like I've been here for, like, months or years or anything like that.
Okay.
So it was more like, I don't know, like, I'm like, is 40 minutes up yet? Like, I feel like maybe it should be, but maybe not. I'm not confident.
Okay. All right. Are you trying to think about the problem that you're there to solve at all?
Yeah,
or
so
you
they
just...
said, that's one of the things they told me in the intake on the phone. They say it's good to, like before you do the session, think about, you know, your purpose, so in my case, depression, so that you can ground yourself. So at the beginning, I, you know, sometimes, like, among the rapid fire thoughts I'm cycling through, that's what I'm like, okay, you know, I'm here for the depression. Ketamine's resetting stuff in the brain. But, like, eventually I dropped it. Like, you know, I was too preoccupied with other thoughts.
With other stuff. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about, like, how do I describe this? I'm like, check that my body's still here. You know, this is normal ketamine stuff, I tell myself. But there's a point where, like, I feel like, so there's that time, like, I feel like it's been 40 minutes, but, like, we're not stopping, like, you know, so maybe, you know, maybe I'm underestimating, maybe it hasn't been 40 minutes yet, but maybe it has, and I don't know what's going on. And so this is where it starts to get a bit scary.
You start getting a little paranoid.
Yeah. So, like, some of the things I think about is, like, am I even real? Because I can't feel my body anymore. Like, I don't have anything. Like, everything else before this was a dream, and this is the new reality. Like, I'm waking up to it for the first time, in a sense, in this abstract, you know, geometrical universe thing.
And this is where you live now.
and then apparently where I've always lived, like everything else was fake.
Oh, right.
Because I don't have a body. Like there's nothing about what was before was real.
There's no material sense of you. Okay.
Yeah. But there's also but there's also like but I'm high, right? So probably that's what I would think, you know, and then
Right.
so I'm going back and forth between these ideas. And also, and then, you know, and then there's like, but it's been quite a while. Like, why aren't I waking up yet? Like, and then I was like, okay, so maybe something went wrong. And like, cause I can't feel, like, am I moving? Am I doing stuff? Cause I like, when I can't feel my body, I'm like, okay, let me try to move my arm or something like that and see if I experience a sensation. But like, I don't feel anything, right? Like I don't even have an arm. What? So I'm thinking of talking. I'm saying like, I want to say like, hey, can we pause this for a bit? You know, something like that.
Right.
But like, I'm having trouble even coming up with the words, like not like mentally even right in the muscle thing. Like I know there's some sense in which I'm a bit worried and I want to slow things down, but I don't know what words to say to express that. And that's like a prerequisite to then say, okay, now I've decided the words. Now let's try to express those words. So there's like, even before that step, I'm having trouble.
Fascinating.
But
So your reality testing is intact. Like you're trying to test reality,
yes,
but interesting. It's become a wordless experience.
so that's why also when I woke up later on, I asked the nurse, like, you know, did I speak? Because I was curious, like, did I
like,
succeed in speaking?
Yeah.
Because at some point I also felt like this is a little bit self-contradictory. Like I could feel myself manually swallowing. Swallowing became manual. And then I'm like swallowing a lot here, like every couple of seconds, or like I have to swallow my saliva. And so if I stop, am I gonna drown? Like what's going on? You know, like is it gonna block my airways? And I can't feel my arms or like my body. So I don't like, am I flailing around or am I just still lying down? Is the nurse on top of me, you know, doing something like to trying to like hold me down, calm me down? Like I don't know what's happening anymore. And if she is and things fuck up and am I now dead? Like is this even, because I can't feel anything. I don't have a body anymore. Am I even alive anymore? Or is this the afterlife now?
Okay. So this is getting like you're having psychotic experiences here. Like you're like, this might actually be
but then there's also there's still the background thread of like, but this is all what you would feel. So
maybe
this is I'm still ketamine.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's like a big questioning. Like there's a worry, but there's not outright fear. Like there's always like the idea in the back of my mind, like, but maybe this is normal, you know? And but there's also another layer of that, which is like, if this is the new reality, like if the universe didn't exist and this is what it is, or if I'm dead, like either way, then I guess the depression isn't a big deal anymore, right? Like who cares about it? Like this is like, if I'm, or like there might be a trapped body thing, like, you know, like I'm in a coma now, so this is what it's going to be like, and so I don't have to worry about the depression anymore.
Wow, that is fascinating. Was that like does that feel like a relieving thought?
At the time, yeah. And now that I'm back in life and I have to make money and shit, now it's like, okay, now I do have to worry about depression again. But when I thought like, now I can live in this abstract universe, and then sweet, now I don't have to worry about depression anymore.
So interesting. Okay. And then like, what happens? Do you wake up suddenly? Do you wake up as slowly as you went under?
So I think as slowly as I went under. So what happened at some point? So the thing is, I also all throughout this I can hear the music, right, from the spotting.
Oh right.
And I can tell like, so here I'm making an assumption here. I'm making an assumption that the auditory experiences I was having is what the music was actually playing. Like I don't know that for sure, right? But it sounded like spot music the whole time. So it's plausible to me that what I was hearing was what the spot music was playing. And so like I think it had a heavy influence on on my thoughts on what I was seeing. Like as the music was like had a certain like a tinge of happiness or a tinge of sadness or whatever, then that's what the imagery would be, you know.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's also, you know, when I'm saying, oh yeah, this is all what I would feel anyway under ketamine, something I would see things or feel things, and I'd be like, okay, but this is the music pushing me in this direction. Like, this is why, you know, when I'm trying to say, why am I seeing this? One of the ideas in my head is because this is what the music is making me see.
Right, like the music is all about frogs.
Yeah, or the thing
without
is, like,
lyrics.
Yeah, no lyrics, but also there's like there air purifier in the room, so I can hear the buzz of that.
Okay.
I remember at some point I heard like a police siren of a car driving by, and I didn't see police imagery. I just understood what was happening. I was like, okay, you know, I'm still in the clinic, and a police car probably drove by. But as far as I could tell, it didn't have any effect on the imagery. It's just something like I noted in my mind and then moved on with other thoughts.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't remember too much like concrete details to retell here, but I do. Towards the end, the nurse, I could feel her put a hand on my shoulder, and she says, "Okay, the infusion is done. So I'm gonna start." I forget the exact wording, but like I'm gonna start, you know, taking the stuff off of you, basically.
Yeah.
I felt the hand on my shoulder, which means like, but I didn't have a shoulder, but now I was starting to reconstruct like my body in the sense, like the proprioception was coming back. So I said, okay, so I do have a shoulder, you know, because she touched it, and she said things like, I'm going to remove the IV from your arm. And this is where I think I don't know if my time sensation was fucky or touch or something, but like there were way too many hands manipulating my arm, like, you know, like more than two basically. And so it's plausible that maybe there was another person in the room helping her, but I don't think so. I think it was just her doing it. And I just like maybe overlapping, like, you know, she lifts my hand with one arm and then does something, and like I overlapped those experiences into one moment in time, so I thought there were multiple arms touching me at the same time, something like that. Like every touch she did made sense, but it's just there was like 3 or 4 arms involved. It felt like doing the thing.
Yeah.
And it was like it wasn't like sometimes when you wake up, it's because you get startled in bed or something. It's like instant you wake up, right? But it wasn't like that for me. Like she was talking to me, and I could still feel like I was in this weird state, you know, when she said, okay, I'm doing this, I'm taking off the headphones, I'm doing this. And I understood everything she was saying, but I still felt like I wasn't all there yet. But I was gradually coming back, and I can feel the difference. So at some point I told her, like she says, I'm doing this. I say, okay. She says, I'm doing this. I say, okay, you know, okay. And then at one point I felt different enough that I told her, I think I'm back now. Like I can sense that I can think about like existing of myself. I have a sense of self again. And then like, so when everything was off, like the eye blinds, the headphones, all that, I started getting no motion sickness again. And I told her, and then I did end up puking. Like she gave me a trash can to puke into, so I puked into it. And then she said next time they'll give me stronger anti-motion sickness meds. So, and then they moved me to a recovery room because they need to reuse the room for the next patient, I guess, the injection room, the IV room. So they moved to a recovery room, and they told me I can stay here as long as I want. I forget how long I stayed. I wasn't watching, but I every now and then I tentatively try to stand up, but I would get motion sickness again, so I would sit back down. Eventually I went out, called a Lyft or an Uber, and then got home. And then even when I got home, I was still motion sick, so I just lied down and slept right up until when the stream started. And then
Interesting.
And then when I woke
So
up,
what happens now?
I guess my next session's in a couple of days, and then I go back and do it again.
How many times do you do it all together?
It's 6 sessions in all.
Wow.
And like because it was a little bit scary towards the end, I am a little bit scared of doing it again. Also, like I'm scared of needles in general, so that's also scary. But I'm probably gonna do it because I do want to get the depression cured, and maybe this will help. We'll find out in a couple months, I guess, to see how I'm doing at that point.
Yeah.
But it was very, very strange. Like I've never had any experience like that. And I can understand how people might get addicted to this, because like the surrealness of it, especially at the beginning before it got scary, it was just so fascinating. Like it's just watching
Yeah.
it. Like I imagine it maybe like, the first time someone sees color television, like before, you say everything you saw before, like forget that, because this is like crazy, when the Wizard of Oz or whatever, or the first time you try VR, it's like way more real than you would expect it to be. So like the thing is, like at the beginning I knew it was all fake, right? Like it was all meaning high, but it was just so fascinating to watch, like an IMAX movie or something, that like super high resolution, crazy imagery. Towards the end I was questioning, maybe it is real, but at the beginning, or I knew it wasn't real, and it was still fascinating.
That's so cool. So by next week you'll have had 2 or 3?
My next one is July 2nd.
July 2nd. Okay. And then we probably won't meet on the 4th because it's the 4th.
Wow. Can't believe you're skipping, Steph.
I'm American, man. Okay. And then
I have another one on the 9th, July 9th.
And then you have one on the 9th. So you'll have had 2 more by the next time we talk.
I also have on the 11th. So
oh my god.
I don't remember.
Oh my god. You'll be a different person or the same person. Wow.
And there's also, so when I said, she says like, during your first session, it's unlikely that her wording was like go to Mars or something like that. It's very unlikely you'll go to Mars. I guess I'm very sensitive for something like that because I went fucking beyond Mars. I don't know where I went.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Like I had to ask her, like, did you feel like you were still in the room or you left the room? I was like, yeah, I was out there. I wasn't in this room anymore. Like it was, so it was very unusual. I guess I'm unusual in that sense. My experience is not typical. I guess most people, their first ketamine session is more mild.
That's really cool. I'm excited to hear more.
All right, so time to push some cats.
Sure, if you like. You're full of energy now.
I slept basically the whole day.
Right.
I slept until 12:30, I think is when my alarm went off. Woke up, went to my appointment at 1 p.m. Got back home whenever, like 3 p.m., 2:30 maybe. Went to sleep, woke up at like 7 to do this stream at 7:30.
That's a lot.
So what happened last night? This game is also a bit weird, right? Like you're pushing cats. It's a puzzle game.
Right.
But there's a part where this cat is also questioning reality. Like, so these words is what the cat's thinking, right? I still love Daisy. I want to see her. Can you hear me, Daisy? There was a part where the cat was like, wait, why am I thinking in English? How am I thinking in human words? Am I a human or am I a cat? Like, so the cat's also having this existential crisis going on.
The cat is doing ketamine to treat its depression.
And you hear how there's like happy music going on right now. There was like a level where it started getting like the music stopped and it was the wording was a little spooky.
Does this sound happy to you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you describe it as?
I guess nostalgic, sentimental, like the guy and girl have broken up, but she's remembering their happy times together.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm alexithymic, so they're all the same.
Good point.
Being sad or being happy, yeah, same thing.
Whatever. Yeah. It's happy.
Hypnotized is sentimental, yeah. But yeah, so what I was saying is like the music stopped and then the level got, like the text was a little spooky. It was for something like I need to save my soul or something like that. I forget the exact wording. So I hypothesized, oh, maybe this is a horror game, like it's one of those, like there's gonna be a weird twist and it turns out that the cat's soul is stuck in the game and you have to delete the game to free the cat or something like that.
Right.
But it's unconclusive. We don't know yet if this is a horror game or a happy game or what. Okay, so we need to shift one of the cats, right?
Timing, it's all the same.
Because we need to move the cat into a flag, and there's no flag right now, so we need to shift one of the cats. The way the game works is, if you look at your keyboard, WASD, right, is up, down, left, right. In the, well, I guess WASD would be up, left, down, right. For controlling the gamer, the character. So W, if you click on W, it'll go up because W is up. If you click on A, it goes left because A is left, and so on. And let me reset. And then you can push. You see the A push the W to the side. So that's the main mechanic of the game. And pushing things into shift transforms them. We want to push the cat into shift, so it transforms into a flag. If you push a letter into a shift, it turns into its opposite letter. So W, which is up, turns into S, which is down. There's also diagonal movements. Q, E, Z, and C. If you look on your keyboard, move in their corresponding directions. Q is top left, for example. So that's the game. Now we gotta figure out how to get these cats pushed into flags. Rochelle says, okay, good night, Pookie. Talk later. Happy to hear it's such excitement in your voice. It's been really great. All right, Sir Rochelle, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. How do we do this?
The E underneath here, will that move it into a shift?
I'll move it this way, I think. Like that.
Yeah. And go up to the top shift with it?
Well, here I'll push this E into this shift, which will transfer the E, but then...
Now you have an elevator. Look at that.
Wait, didn't we do this level already then? Didn't we do the elevator level?
Yeah, we had to make two elevators.
Yeah, how do we do that?
It was a pain.
This is literally the one where you were like, now do it again. And they're like, haha.
Yeah, do it again. Go ahead.
but it's real. I have to do it again. Okay, so what we did last time was we created two elevators. So when Steph says an elevator, this is an elevator. It's when you have two letters of the opposite direction that let you then move things arbitrarily, like to any position you want. So we had one going here. We had another one over here with this. So we could move both cats up and down. And what I did is I also had an A in an elevator, I think.
Yeah, an
so
A and a D.
I moved the cat off to the side, one cat off the side. No, wait, so I moved this cat here, then I had the second elevator up here, move the cat into there, so it becomes a flag, then move it back down, and then get the other cat here, and then move the second cat into the flag. That's what we did. Now I gotta figure out.
How can you just do it?
No, but I'm trying to remember, how did I create that second elevator? How did I get...
do it.
This R doesn't do anything. E, oh, there's this E. So it's probably this E gets pushed over here using this A, I guess. Yeah, so here's my double elevator. And then I need to unload one elevator. How did I do it? I want to unload one elevator so I can get... The sentence got dark for a couple seconds there. Did it? I didn't see that. No, I think I messed up. Hang on. I need to get this I need to get the second elevator to have only...
Popular. I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts. You'll be good at sports. Know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, because you've got an awfully long way to go.
CDF, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. How's it going? How was Elden Ring? Let me play one of your top clips. Man, that's new. I don't think we've seen this one. What's this one?
Yeah. You do have a mana. It's not infinite. You have mana you keep using every time you've cast it so far.
You don't.
No, I don't feel that.
There.
You
I
can't
don't see
refill it right now.
No, fucking shit, dude.
I guess so. My inference here is she's playing Elden Ring and she did not know there was mana in the game. She spent all her mana and then she just realized she has no mana to keep doing her attacks. I think that's what happened there. Welcome in, Zenith. Timothy says, I mean, not visually, it spells it. Oh, I spelled a weird word or something like that. Yep, says Zenith, that's what happened. Okay. We are playing this. You're a dingus. We're playing this cat puzzle game which the rules are a little bit hard to explain, but we need to transform one of these cats into a flag by pushing into the word shift. And I'm trying to... We solved it before, but I guess the game forgot that we had solved this puzzle, so I have to recreate the solution. So I'm trying to remember exactly how I did it, which I think it's like this. Yeah, there we go. Hey, I'm playing Elden Ring right now. A lot of people are playing Elden Ring CTL because of the DLC, right? So everybody's playing it these days. So Cat says, hello, Daisy, are you there? Meow, meow, hello. Daisy, meow. Daisy, why? Why can't you hear me? So it's getting a little bit spooky, or at least a little bit like... What's the word? Steph, help me out here. What's the emotion?
What's the emotion? I'm having trouble thinking of it. It
Loss.
is
Sadness.
existential?
Existential. It's a bad emotion. We'll go with that, at least, right? Like, the cat would be happier if Daisy could hear him or her. We don't know the cat's gender, I guess. And the cat also is like, doesn't know why something's happening, right? Like he or she doesn't know, is he real or whatever.
Right.
So there's all these emotions, I guess, going on. Dude, this is, I'm here to laugh, not to get hurt in the meow meow. So, okay, so there's a flag here. There's no shift, so this flag has to go to some cat, or the cat has to go to, one of the cats has to go to the flag. How do we do this? We have an E here to move the cat around, or the flag around, I mean. An A, E. Historically, I always forgot that the W, like I keep overlooking the W as a possible move, so feel free to call me out on that, chat or Steph, if you see me saying like, oh, it's impossible, and then it's no, just use the W. Because the cat, the flag's down here, I feel like we need a C somewhere, right? Like, because the C moves in this direction, down and to the right. Well, here's a C, but it's not like up here where I can then push the cat down in that direction, so that kind of sucks. And it looks like it's going to be very hard to get something underneath the C to push it up. So maybe it's not the C. What else can we do? If we had a D, yeah, which we should do with Daisy, we can, if we can get something down here, we can, yeah, okay, so if I push the flag up here with the E, then I can use the D to push the cat to the right, and then into the flag. So that looks like a path towards,
Dance. You can do a little two-step. I'll go anywhere that you step to, 'cause I'm following you.
Let's Mosey, thank you so much for the follow. That looks like a step towards a solution, right? If we can get something around a cat in this region, then I can press the D to move the cat to the right, and then once it's in position, I push the flag
Right.
into the cat.
So if we use the E, no, that goes the wrong direction.
So, I mean, probably we want to move one of these cats down, which means we're looking at like an S, a Z, or a C somewhere, because the S moves down. There's no Z's, and this is the only C, right? Or am I missing a C? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, this is the only C. There's no Z's, so it's either this C somehow or one of the S's to move something down. Welcome in, Let's Mosey. How are you doing? Are you good with puzzle games? Do you like cats? Hopefully at least one of those, because otherwise, why are you in the stream? But even if you're not into either of those, you're still more than welcome here. Uses S to push the E down, but does that help us? We also use this A to move this S around, like to here to move this E down. Oh, does that work? Then we move the E down here, then we can move the cat. Move the E in this direction, and then what? Because even if we move it here, we just need to move it down again somehow. Well, let's see what we can get going on here. One more, I think. By the way, I contacted the author of the game, and I confirmed that being able to click on the letter off this grid is not intended. Like that's a bug in the game. So there is some other way to solve the puzzle without doing that, presumably. I can do a ladder, maybe? An elevator, I mean? Like if I move this into here, I can bring an A with the cat or a D with the cat, but then what?
Well, what if you create a DA ladder with your DA and Daisy? And what if you use the S and the Daisy above the cat all the way to the right to push that cat into the elevator that you've created?
Oh yeah, this is way easier. What the heck? I didn't need to do anything in the side.
Cool.
Caution. Daisy's flowers are poisonous to cats. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Why are we getting into spooky territory? Look at this. You see the blurriness of the cat, the flower there? Chapter 3, Can you hear me? Daisy can't hear me. Why? So
I think the emotion now is uneasiness.
I have an E, we have the A, we have the C. So I can, okay, with the A I can move the, like here, move the S down. But then I don't have to get the cat, like, to get these guys together. Timothy says, I love this kind of game, but also the reason why I won't finish games. Why is that? Because they're spooky? Because you don't want to see a sad ending? Sad? Yeah. So the C could push in this direction, but like I would need to get it like above the flag somehow if I want to push the flag this way. Which I don't see how to do. Oh, but wait, maybe... Oh, it doesn't quite line up right, because then I could do this, but then... No, I don't know how to get them closer.
Wait, do it one more. That won't help. Okay, now move the A in here to move the E over. Oh, the E doesn't go that way. I can't.
It goes
left-right confusion,
this way
man.
up there.
Sorry.
But it does feel like we're close. Like if we just, get the flag over here so that we could push it up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can change the alignment a bit. Like maybe, yeah, okay. Oh, but then there's still gonna be a Y in the way. So if I can get rid of this text somehow. Unless I do... This is what I just did earlier? I can't tell. Feels like basically the same as what I did. The only way to move things to the right is with the D. And I can't get like an S above the D. Oh wait, no I can, if I use this W. I have the ability to cry over anything, even with the slightest hint of sadness. I think I have a little bit of that too.
That's definitely right, whatever you're doing.
I'm not sure because
just-
I mean I was saying I can't get the S above the D, but I can with the W. Like I just discovered that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but that seems like a dead end because I only have one.
It feels so good.
I only have one D to work with, so I get it down here, and then now I can't do anything with the flag.
But it gets your Y out of the way.
Yeah, but the only reason I need to Y away is so that I can get the S, which I've already used up, above. Wait, but do I have to use it up? Hang on. I do have, okay, no, I do, you have to use up, because I'm either using the S to push on the flag or the S to push on the D.
Right.
Because I want, the only reason I'm moving that Y, the Y out of the way is so that I can get the C over here. Oops.
Right.
And the only way I can get the C over here is if, wait, is it? What am I doing exactly? Oh yeah, it's because I want to move the flag down so it's below the C, so that the C can push it. The business, especially if it's involving cats, saw a clip of a mother cat forcing her kitten to stay with a human, and I cried. I'm a cat person. Like the mother cat giving up the baby cat for adoption, because the mother cat could understand that the kitten would do better with the human than with herself or something. Trying to reconstruct the story here. Yes, Steph and I. Yeah, that is kind of a sad story. Like a touching story, right? Of a mother giving up her child for the better future. We can also do an elevator, right? Like we got that must be it, actually. Is it? No, how do I do this? fucking C didn't line up for the fucking. We're like 90% there. I feel like.
Back, yeah. I don't think you have to push the C over as far as you did. Oh, the flag.
I want to get the flag along this diagonal, which basically means like I can only push it once. Like if I push it more, then it's off the diagonal.
Or you have to put the D back down there.
And I'm trying to think of other ways to make the elevator, but this seems like the only way to make the elevator.
Can you... Okay. So now you can use the C to move the A down in the row that the cat is in?
Yes.
Oh, but we need the C.
We either need to then move the cat up, which maybe we can with the elevator.
Yeah.
No, I need a filler for the elevator. Because like this closes the elevator and now I can't get anything into it. I have to think about that now. Is this it? Maybe we got it. Yeah.
Yay.
I need to let Daisy hear my voice. What the fuck? Oh, Control C, copy and paste. Okay, how does that work? S goes down to here, S comes out there, of course.
It's a portal.
How? I need to think. I need to remember. This is gonna break my brain, I can feel it already. This new mechanic of copy and paste.
Right. Nobody's
it's a
ever
one-way
made it
portal
this
too,
far.
right? Because you can't
Right.
Control V into Control C. You can only Control C into Control V.
So if we move it over, move the cat over with the D, we can go up with an E. And copy paste.
Oops, I'm too far, I guess.
Too far, yeah. Oops! You created another D.
Don't look at
Oh,
me
it just
like-
creates a copy. Now there's two of them.
Oh wait, what? So it overwrites actually. Like this E
Yeah.
goes here. It doesn't push the
It
cat.
did. It doesn't. Oh God.
Don't look at me. My brain not on the first stage. Yeah, Steph and I have played the earlier stages, so we've had some warm up to think about some of these ideas.
We broke our brains last week.
I remember about Daisy. She is a normal human. She doesn't speak cats.
Okay, so obviously the S in cats and the A in about are important because those are weird ways to talk.
Or the author is not an English native speaker. Well, I feel like this is easy, right? Oh no, it isn't. I was thinking, then I just move the S over here and move it down, and then I have to move the S over there. And you know, I'm not even using the portals in any way.
Right.
I could make an S show up here, but that doesn't super help.
No, I think you're supposed to move the cat over, and then the S and is goes down to make another cat. Now, obviously, we
I think I got
over with the yeah. You're faster than me as usual.
Why does it take so long to get to the next level? Oh, maybe I have to specifically click on that double arrow, I guess.
Yeah, you have to be ready.
I thought I was clicking like anywhere on the screen because I thought that would progress it. I remember she's different. She doesn't speak English.
Oh, great. The author isn't an English speaker. So if we move, that over, you can create a... Oh.
Oh, that's not what you're thinking?
Oh, no, but I
was
like
thinking,
it.
like, how do I get the S? How do I get an S over the flag? Is what I was thinking, and then I saw the portal. But now I don't know what the next step is. Maybe I can move both the flag and the cat up somehow. Wait, what? What language does she speak?
It's two whats.
There's no Q, so I'm trying to think if, like, if there's a Q, we can move the cat in this direction. If we had the C, we can move it. But there's not that either. You could construct an elevator here. Oh no, we can't. The portal's one way.
What happened?
I pressed W to go into here, but this is the out exit portal, so I can't.
Right. So what happens if you move the A and speak over? Oh, interesting. Undo that.
Might be able to do an elevator around here with DNA. Like if I do... Oops. One more. If I do this... and this... now I have my elevator. But I don't know what to do from there. I don't even know if that's part of the solution or not.
I'm thinking we use one of those S's to get a E into the control C to make it into a Z.
No, you're thinking shift. If I put an E into here, I would just make an E appear up here.
Oh.
Shift like changes letters, but Control C and Control V copy the letters.
Fine.
Oh wait, no, I think... oh shit. No, I need to get rid of this question mark somehow. Because I was thinking if I do my double elevator tank... how did I do it again? Select this. Too far. Now my elevator. If I did this and the cat were here, then I could just shove this guy into the cat, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So we
I
gotta
need to
figure
get
out
a
how to
question
copy
mark.
the cat somehow.
Yeah. I don't see any way to get the cat down here. Like there's nothing to move the question mark as far as I can see. Unless I move an S up. Now I need another S or something to get this down here.
Can you go back up a couple steps for a second? I had an idea.
What if I move this guy first?
Wait, go back. One more. So if the K wasn't there and you pushed the E all the way down with the S, you could use the E to get rid of the question mark, right?
I can still do that, I guess.
It's the K. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then I need to do the... Oh wait, I just have
Do
an A
that
here.
Yeah.
I was trying to think how I get my elevator back.
Right. How do we do the elevator? We don't need it.
Oh my god, look at this. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. Is there no Control C? There's no Control C, there's only Control Vs. She doesn't speak any language? She doesn't speak? So Daisy is a flower, not a person, I guess. Yes, what,
Daisies
like,
are toxic to cats.
yeah.
What do we do with Control Vs?
They're the exit portal. There's no entrance portal,
Okay.
which is why I'm confused. Maybe it's just
Right.
distractions.
So
Maybe
what
it
do
doesn't do
we-
anything. Like the most basic interpretation to me is that they're useless because you can't do anything with an exit portal without an entrance portal.
So you push the whole thing over with the A.
Which whole thing?
Oh, the A goes the other direction, doesn't it? Gosh, I'm gonna struggle with that. Um. I think we use the A on the the last speak, to move the E. Yeah, and so we can move the cat right next to the flag.
Oops.
And then we do something with the top row that somehow gets the D below an S. So that we can then use, or if it gets an A below the S, I guess, somehow. Or the D down to push the flag, right?
Yeah.
That should be pretty easy.
Oh shit, it starts here. I was hoping if this S were over here, then I could eventually get to it with this E. Like I went like this.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, you can do that with the A, right? And speak.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, but then I forgot to move the cat. So I need
I
to
think
like
you can-
do the right order.
Okay.
Everything
Right.
like at this point I do this, then I do this. Do this. And
Yeah.
then get this out of the way.
Right. That there. That over. We're winners. See?
She,
I did half of it.
Daisy, she.
Okay.
She speaks in hands. She uses sign language. She can't hear. What the heck are these? Do these like delete letters or something if they go into them?
I'm gonna guess yes.
And you have entrance portals but no exit portals. Unless there's like some sort of time machine shit going on where this does something in the previous level, then we go back to the previous level and then do something.
Unacceptable.
Oops. I clicked out of the game by mistake.
Trying to do some time machine shit.
What does this do? So the S, I clicked on S, so it should have gone down here, but nothing happened.
What if you click on the... If you push the cat into the control C, does anything happen?
Yeah, I did that. So S pushes the cat down,
Yeah.
Control C, but there's no exit portal.
Gotcha. Maybe it only destroys flags and cats?
So maybe this is a red herring, right? We need to transform one of these, because like getting this all the way around here
Yeah.
and down here and down here
It's
sounds
not
like
gonna work
huge,
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we use the A to move the E in here all the way over and push it into the shift.
Why not just use the
I don't know
C?
what step 2 is. Yeah, go for it. Oh, now it's a Z.
What the heck?
I think about this is making me a little unhappy right now.
But we did a lot just chatting earlier, so it might be about time to end if you want to end here.
Yeah.
All right.
Just finish this level off real quick and then...
Just finish this level, jeez.
Yeah.
The author, so I posted the video to the author of this game. I said, look,
Yeah.
you know, like, because I clipped the part where we clicked off screen to solve the puzzle. I said,
Yeah.
hey, is this, is this intended or what? He says, no, it's not intended. And then he said, also, by the way, you can click to get hints.
Oh.
What he said, watching this play.
It's like, oh, wow, you guys need help.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, no. It's like, I don't know if you guys know, but wow.
No, I understand. So I'm trying to think about something about like this becomes a Z, which then lets you push the A, but it's always the A is always gonna be too far to the left. Like no matter like if I try to get this A down here or something like that by turning an E, like I get this E to go up and then come back down and push the A down.
Can
But
you
here's the only place you can do it, and it's too
click
far.
the A into the X and does anything happen?
Here.
Nothing. Okay. Okay, can you go back one? One more. Okay. Can we... I got nothing. Now we've made a queue, right? That's gotta be good.
Yeah, maybe. Hang on. Maybe can we construct an elevator out of this? So I do this. Now I have the D. Hang on. Now I do this. Then I bring this guy over here. Oops. One more. Then what? Maybe I still have an elevator opportunity, maybe. But dude, oh no, I thought the D was down. I keep taking D for down, it's S for
Yeah.
down. Because then I could have, if I put the E down, then I push the A here, and now I got my left-right elevator. Well, I can reuse the cube by doing something like this. So now I got my C again. But then I don't know what to do to... Because like all this stuff just inexorably pushes things to the left. Because I only have an A, so I need to figure out how do I gradually construct what I need. Unless we really do need to use something up here. Right? Like, I have an A and a D here, but they're on the wrong sides. So I was gonna say, maybe I could do an elevator up here, and then like I move it here, and then, but... Oh, that's what these guys are for. If you, they don't want you to do that. Like, if you make an elevator and you move it down here, now you can't use them to fuck with these. That's why he put those there.
They're just extra barriers.
But then why did he leave these spaces here? Like, why not just completely fill, like, if that was the intent, instead of fucking us up with a new...
Yeah. Frustrate you?
Yeah, I guess so. How did I get this A up here?
Maybe you made a Z with the A. I mean with the E and then turn the, oh yeah, I don't know. Because now you can turn the A into a D, but I don't know how that.
Well, that's what I want to do. I want to turn this A to D, put it down here, and then move this cap to the right, which is like, I know I did it, but how did I do it? How did I get this A to become a D?
Oh, use the Z. Oh no, the Z goes the other direction. Use the.
I did some magics
Use
earlier somehow.
the. You made a Q, man.
Oh, this is how.
Wait, go back one. Oh, never mind. I have a real hard time with the E. I want the E to be on the bottom row.
So I could push the flag down here, and then we could like try to figure out this shit to bring the cat over, but that seems like super tough also. I also turn, whoops. Turn this guy into a cat, but then I don't have a way to push these guys together. I don't know, time to give up?
Yeah.
Where's Cat Parade? Ending screen. Tracked. Play. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. We did just chatting today and some pushing cats. Yoop, says Louis Joe. My regular schedule is top left corner of the screen. Oh, Onibang, you got here right at the end. Welcome in, Onibang. You came at the end, yep. My regular schedule is top left corner of the screen. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific. That's about 2 hours ago in your time zone. We have the Steph Thursday where we do puzzle games, just chatting, that sort of stuff. Every Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's about 3 hours, 43 minutes ago in your time zone. We have the Solo Saturday stream where I play a random game from my review queue. We got the Discord. Join the Discord for updates to the schedule and then the announcements for off-schedule streams. We have a stream tomorrow, maybe? Let me see. Yes, we do. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. So about 3 hours, 43 minutes ago in your time zone, we have a stream of Rico Pico playing a surprise game. So look forward to that. And I think that's it. So thanks again, everyone.
Not next week.
Oh, you're not here next week?
4th of July. Right?
Yeah, let me update the calendar to say that then. Actually, hang on. It's not that I want to delete the event, it's just I want to say that you're not there. Whatever, I'll figure it out. So Steph's not here next week. So yeah, so that's it. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of Cap Raid while I look for someone to raid.
Good night, everybody. Have a great 4th of July. Bye.